Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to this week's fishing report. Got some good news for you guys. The fishing on Mille Lacs, Leech, and Winnie has all gotten really good, and there are some awesome bites going on. But before we dive into this week's report, if you guys could, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you use any of the guides or resorts mentioned in today's report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. And with that being said, let's dive into this week's fishing report. All right, we're going to start out on Mille Lacs Lake. The walleye bite has really picked up on Mille Lacs. People are starting to do really well with the water temp starting to rise. Seeing them in the mid 60s, it does tend to fluctuate quite a bit on the really hot days as the water beneath the surface is still pretty chilly. So the temps go anywhere from 62 up to 72 depending on the wind direction and how hot it is. Now, as far as the depths to find those walleyes in, during the daytime, 18 to 24 foot of water, from 8 a.m. up until about 8 p.m., even up to 9 p.m., that depth range seems to be the best. And then early in the morning and that 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., those fish do seem to be sliding up into that 12 to 18 foot of water. Now, some really good areas to target these fish right now, just a couple of them: 3 Mile, Hawkbill, Rock Pile Flat. Those are some really good areas. Any other areas with that same structure and depth range will probably be good as well. And then the best ways to catch those fish: slip bobber and a leech is working very well right now. Either on that slip bobber, use like a 1/16 ounce jig, or a plain red hook seems to be working well, and a medium to large leech. Now, guys still are catching them on jigs as well. They're getting them with crawlers and leeches, both on the jigs. Still guys using minnows as well. And then some guys are starting to pull spinners and having some success with those as well. Now, there are a ton of like 11 to 16 and a half inch walleyes out on Mille Lacs Lake right now. If you're really getting into those, please make sure you're taking care of those fish. Get them unhooked, take a quick picture, throw them back in. Make sure we're preserving those walleyes, because those are the future of Mille Lacs Lake. So do your best to get those fish back safely. Now, people are catching some eater fish as well. If you're looking for bigger fish, it seems like those are actually out a little bit deeper, more in that 22 to up to even 28 foot of water. You're not going to get nearly as many bites, but if you're looking for those true big walleyes, they seem to be out fairly deep. Now, as far as the smallmouth bass bite goes, the smallmouth fishing is absolutely on fire on Mille Lacs Lake. The majority of the fish right now are up in 4 to 10 foot of water. They're on the rocks, secluded boulders, that sand to gravel transitions. They're spawning. Probably going to find some fish that are pre-spawn, some that are post-spawn, and quite a few of them that are in the middle of the spawn. Right now, the best ways to get those fish to bite is with a Ned rig or a drop shot. Especially if you're targeting some spawning fish, pitch that up in their bed, work it really slow. It may take a couple of casts. They're going to chase it out of their bed, but eventually you will get them to bite it, and they are catching some absolutely massive smallmouth up there right now on Mille Lacs. Now, as far as the pike bite goes, starting to get some good reports of people catching some really nice pike in the southern bays, Cove Bay, Walk-On Bay, Isle Bay, anywhere from 6 to 10 foot of water on the weed edges, pulling big spoons, big cranks. Really big spinner baits are working as well. Doesn't really seem to matter what color. Troll those anywhere from that 2.8 to 3.2 mile an hour, and you're probably going to run into some really nice pike. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, Perch have been very sporadic out there. I wish I could give you a specific depth range, but it seems like when people are catching them, it's anywhere from like 16 foot out to 30 foot. And there's not very many of them schooled up. You're just going to have to kind of search around if you're looking to put some perch in the live well. Now, if you're looking for a guide up in the area, we're partnered up with Joe from Keeper's Guide Service. Whether you want to fish walleye, bass, panfish, whether you want to be on Mille Lacs Lake or one of the smaller local lakes, Joe can accommodate all of those trips. So if you're looking to get up to the Mille Lacs Lake area and want to hire a guide, go ahead and give Joe a call from Keeper's Guide Service. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake. The bites have gotten really good on Leech Lake. The walleye bite is really starting to fire up. The majority of those walleyes are being found in 16 to 22 foot of water out on the main lake humps. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find walleyes elsewhere. Out on Leech, like I've said in the past, there's always that weed line bite. Those walleyes are going to be hanging out in that 7 to 12 foot of water on the edges of the milfoil. That is still a thing. But the easiest bite to work right now is that 16 to 22 foot of water out on those humps. Now, the best ways to catch those right now, they're getting them with a slip bobber with half of a crawler, or a medium to large leech is working well, or pitching a jig with a chunk of a crawler and a leech as well. And it never hurts to have some minnows in the boat as well, because some days they do still prefer the minnow. Now, as far as the bass bite goes, the smallmouth bass, they're pulled up in shallow right now, 4 to 9 foot of water on the rocks. The sand to gravel transitions, they're up in there spawning, getting some really nice smallmouth bass out on Leech. I feel like that is really an underrated fishery up there, and it is going really well right now. Like I said, over on Mille Lacs Lake, best way to catch them right now is throw something that you can slow roll through their beds. A Ned rig, a drop shot, anything like that is working well to get those spawning fish to bite. Now, as far as the largemouth bass, getting those up in the weeds, throwing a chatterbait, especially a white chatterbait on an overcast day, seems to be working really well. Otherwise, pitching a wacky worm is working also. And then on a calm day, working a topwater will work as well. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, still getting some really nice panfish out on Leech Lake. Shingobi, Boy Bay, Sucker Bay, those seem to be the best areas for those panfish right now. They're getting nice bluegills, they're getting nice crappies, anywhere from that 6 to 10 or 11 foot of water. For the crappies specifically, I would use a jig and a minnow, or a jig and a minnow style plastic. You can throw a slip bobber with a fat head as well. Otherwise, for those bluegills, a slip bobber with a chunk of a night crawler or a tiny little jig with a piece of a crawler is working as well. Now, if you're looking to hire a guide up in the Leech Lake area, we're partnered up with Parker from Davis's Guide Service. He's really been on the fish as of late. So if you want to get up to the Leech Lake area, fish some walleye, some bass, some panfish, if you want to be on Leech or one of the smaller local lakes, he will accommodate that. So if you're looking to get up to the Leech Lake area and hire a guide, go ahead and call Parker from Davis's Guide Service. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Leech Lake, Kyle from Acorn Hill Resort, they have seasonal sites. They have cabins available this weekend and throughout the rest of the summer. Full bar and restaurant, rental boats, live bait, fish cleaning shack. Pretty much, if you can think of it, they got it. So if you're looking to get up to Leech Lake and need a place to stay, go ahead and call Kyle from Acorn Hill Resort. All right, now moving over to Lake Winnie. The walleye bite and the perch bite has been really good as of late. They're getting them during the daytime now, along with an insane after dark crankbait bite. But let's start with kind of the daytime areas to target those fish. Some really good areas, Three Sisters or Plug Hat is producing a lot of fish, and then along the North Shore, The best depth range right now is at 9 to 13 foot of water. They're getting them pulling spinners. They're still pitching jigs, night crawlers, leeches, and minnows still kind of have a mixture of all three of those because it does tend to switch from day to day on what they want to feed on. And then in the evening, pulling crankbaits in 6 to 10 foot of water. Perch pattern crankbaits seem to be working really well because the walleye are full of baby perch right now. Trolling those anywhere from 2 mile an hour to 2.5 mile per hour is producing an absolute ton of fish right now. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, been getting some good reports on some really nice perch, kind of in that 10 to 14 foot of water. Around the mouth of Plug Hat Bay is holding a really big school of perch. You're probably going to have to do some looking to find that school, but if you find it, it is a ton of fish and they are really nice. Now, as far as catching those, it seems like they really like orange right now. A small orange jig tipped with a fat head is working really well, although I'm sure a leech or a chunk of a crawler would work as well. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, the bluegills are still up in shallow. Look for the old reed beds in that 4 to 8 foot of water. In Tamarack Bay area and over in Cutfoot both, they're getting some really nice bluegills, and they're finding some crappies up in those shallow areas as well. Now, as far as the pike bite goes, talked to one of the guides up there, and they absolutely have been hammering the pike like 100 to 150 in a matter of a few hours. They've been pulling gold or silver spinners with a shiner and catching so many nice pike out there. There is a lot of those 20 to 21 and 3/4 inch fish, so if you want to pickle a bunch, there's plenty to keep, and then lots of those that you get to put back, and a few overs as well. Now, if you're looking to hire a guide up in the Lake Winnie area, Scott from zupsguideservice is the premier walleye guide up in the area. So if you're looking to get out on Lake Winnie or one of the surrounding lakes to do some walleye fishing, go ahead and call Scott from zupsguideservice. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Lake Winnie, the Pines Resort, they have seasonal sites, RV sites, cabins, full bar and restaurant, rental boats, pontoons, live bait, fish cleaning shack, pert near anything you could ask for to make a successful fishing trip. So if you're looking to get up to Lake Winnie, go ahead and call Chad from the Pines Resort. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's fishing report. If you guys make it out fishing, take some pictures, send them to us to our Gmail or over on Facebook Messenger, and we will do our best to feature you in next week's fishing report. Remember, when you do get out fishing, be kind at the boat ramp, don't crowd other fishermen, and most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.